Hi everyone! So I wanted to do something a little bit different today and review all of the puzzles that I've done just for fun off camera because I have built up quite a collection. And then it's finally time for me to share last year's stats. Like how many puzzles I did last year, how I placed in all of the online contests. So I'll get to that in the second half of this video, but first, let's do some puzzle reviews. All right, it is finally time to show you guys all of the puzzles that I've just been doing for fun, literally since October. Like at the bottom, those are the puzzles that I was doing while editing the world's videos. And that was the original concept for this segment, is like, what puzzles was I doing for fun and not posting, so I just didn't have the energy to while editing worlds. It's now almost the end of April, because what happened is every time I would think about filming this segment, I would just be like, I don't feel like it. I don't want to film. I just want to do a puzzle. And so I would do another puzzle and add it to the stack. And now we have 34 puzzles to talk about. And also I have run out of foam boards. So I literally just can't even do any more puzzles until I film this. So that's why we're doing it today. I have finally been forced. And before we get into it, a lot of these puzzles were gifted to me straight from the companies, so that is always going to be noted in the top left corner. All right, I feel like we're gonna start a little more detailed, and as we get further back in time, I'm gonna remember less and less. So let's see, I just did this one yesterday. So this is a Charlie Harper pomegranate puzzle. I got this at a puzzle swap at the local OC competition, and it was super fun. I did all of the colorful parts first, then the grass, then the sky. So after you do the colorful parts, which are really easy, the grass is like medium difficulty, and then the sky is all the same color. So I would say that's more difficult, but the pieces are unique enough that you can, shape sort and then get that filled in. You really don't have false fits with this brand. All right, one down, 33 to go. So there's gonna be a lot of Eeboo puzzles in this stack because they send me so many puzzles, which I just do for fun. So this one is Birds of Scotland. And these are square, so they don't fit on my rectangle boards. I only have one square board and it's buried like somewhere all the way down here. So I actually do these in two sections, like you can see here. And then I never even look at the entire thing. Oh my gosh. And then I never even look at the entire thing all together before I take it apart, because it's more about the process of putting it together than the finished puzzle for me. Because as you can see, I just do so many puzzles. So this one was harder than I expected. The birds themselves were pretty easy to differentiate, but then there was just like so much greenery and a lot of it kind of looked the same. So I would say this is a pretty difficult Eeboo puzzle compared to some of their others. 2 down, 32 to go. I'm not going to say that for every single puzzle. So then we have Springtime Kitchen. I showed this in the haul video that I just posted, and I said it was kind of a smoother texture than some of the other Eeboo puzzles, but I mean, it's a pretty classic layout for a puzzle and like image for a puzzle, so it really was not hard. Like you can do the window pretty easily. There's a lot of different colors and textures happening, so this was a pretty easy one, but really fun. Then we have a Cobble Hill puzzle. This one was used in one of the online speedpuzzling.com contests, and I liked it so much that I wanted to do it again just for fun. So this is only a 500. When I did it for fun, I did it without looking at the box, which was really fun for this one because you have to use context clues of what colors are next to each other to get everything in place. but this is one of my favorite Cobble Hill puzzles I've ever done. I think it's such a fun image for a puzzle. Ooh, oh my gosh, I've been so excited to talk about this next one. It's a Barbie puzzle. I love Barbie puzzles. Okay, this one is from American Publishing. I was kind of saving it for a special occasion, and now I don't remember like what was happening on the day that I finally decided to do this one. But again, I did it without looking at the box. I like doing that for, 500-piece puzzles because it just raises the difficulty, and I loved this one, getting to see all of the vintage Barbies and then all of the bright pink lines, like the different colors that you can sort out. It was just a really fun one. Oh, and I just noticed there's a date. It's from 1989. All right, we have made it to our first Soonness puzzle. There's going to be a lot of these in this stack. I was working my way through a lot of them while editing Worlds, but this one is called Supermarket, and it's super busy. Look at that. Obviously, you can do the girl pretty easily, like those pants stand out. But then for all of this, I mean, you basically just have to pick up a piece and try to identify where it goes on here. So this is a little busier than the puzzles I normally gravitate towards just to do for fun. But I love Soonness puzzles so much that I'm going to do all of them, no matter how busy it is. And look at how good quality this is. Like, you can lift that up, no issues at all. All right, next we've got another Eeboo. This one's called Alchemist's Orchard. And I expected this to be harder than it was. I thought it was gonna be a lot of very similar looking greenery, but actually, when you look more closely, each plant has identifying features and different colors like in the middle of them. So it actually wasn't that hard to get everything separated out. And I mean, I give away most of my Eeboo puzzles. This might be one that I keep. I liked it a lot more than I expected to. Oh no. Okay, the box for this one is in the other room, but this is the Eurographics beach puzzle that was used in the OC 24-hour event. And as I said in the haul video, I didn't get to work on this one during that event. My teammates did this one, so I brought it home and it was super fun to do at home. Highly recommended. I'm definitely keeping this one for my collection. I liked it a lot. And then same thing with the Mars puzzle. This is from New York Puzzle Co. Again, this is from the 24-hour event, and I didn't get to work on it at the event. This one is harder because you have a lot of solid color pieces at the end, but if you can deal with that, I just think it's such a cool image. Like, these solid color, blocky images is my favorite type of puzzle. Then we've got a 500-piece round Eeboo puzzle, Collecting Nature. And I said in the haul video that I did this one without looking at the box, and I barely looked at the picture before I started. I just saw that it was a 500, so I grabbed it out of the box, pulled out the pieces, and then did it without having any idea what I was putting together. But I really liked it. It's a very cool image, just the right level of busyness, I would say. What a surprise! Another Eeboo puzzle. So this is Artist Provisions. This was harder than I expected. It's very busy. There's a lot going on, and I did it all in one sitting, which was a mistake. I think it took 6 or 7 hours, which is kind of a lot for an Eeboo puzzle. But again, I might keep this one because I really like any of their puzzles that are arts focused. This one's like an art store. So yeah, I like this one a lot. Then we've got Artist's Cottage, and this is a very easy one. Wait, this is so confusing to look at. Let me move that so you can see at least the main part of the puzzle. If you're looking for like an easy beginner 1,000-piece puzzle, or one that you can easily divide up and work on as a group, I think this is a great candidate for that. Oh my gosh, okay, we're making progress. we're getting further down. I can see over the stack a little more easily now. So next we have an Eeboo Christmas puzzle. This one is called Christmas Decorations. They sent me 4 Christmas puzzles. This was the last one that I did from that batch. Oh no, it's upside down. I didn't even notice. One sec. Let me turn this around. Okay, I left this one until last because I thought it would be the hardest, and it definitely was pretty tricky. I mean, there's a lot going on, but something about the artist's style, things just kind of blend into each other when you're looking at the individual pieces more than they do with like the last Eeboo puzzle that I showed. So I'd say this one was higher on the difficulty scale, but obviously doable. So if you're looking for a Christmas puzzle in April, oh no, oh, I knew that was gonna happen. Oh no. Okay, luckily nothing actually came apart. These hold together well enough that I can slide that back on, literally just with one hand. And this went flying, but again, it all stayed together. All right, next we've got a puzzle twist. This was actually used in last year's Winter Carnival in 2024. This was the pears puzzle, but when I was preparing for this year's Winter Carnival in 25, I wanted to do a puzzle twist just to refamiliarize myself with the pieces. So I literally only did one practice puzzle leading into Winter Carnival this year, and then I'm gonna make a video about the whole event. But spoilers, I did pretty well. So I actually think there might be something to the theory of just trusting that you know how to do puzzles and not burning yourself out by doing a million practice puzzles right ahead of time, just doing like 1 or 2 and then showing up to the event and then being really excited to get to do a puzzle once you get there. I don't know, I'm sure that doesn't work for everyone. It might have just been a fluke this time. All right, now we have another Eeboo puzzle. This is another Christmas one, which I think I did in January. This one's called The Little Tree. It's a really cute scene. Look at that. This one was pretty easy. Not the easiest I've ever done, but not the hardest. So I would say medium, but leaning towards easier than harder. Ooh, this one was so fun. Okay, I can't believe I haven't told you guys about this one yet. So this was a Christmas present from my sister Katie. This is a Rifle Paper Co. puzzle. I love Rifle Paper Co. and I love their puzzles. I have a bunch of the other ones over in the studio. And look at how beautiful this box is. So you have shiny foil here on the side. Here you have the entire image, and then it opens like a book, and the box looks like a book. It has like a magnetic closure. I just think that's so beautiful and so perfect for an image of a bookshelf. So when I did this one, I didn't look at the box. I was just doing it based on context clues, and it was super fun. So I like this one a lot. Oh my gosh, finally, I'm gonna be able to do another puzzle Michele Wilson. I'm so excited. This is a 500-piece puzzle Michele Wilson called La Vie en Rose. I'm sure I'm not saying that right, but this is a hand-cut wooden puzzle. And since in the middle, the pieces don't lock together at all, this is what they call a push-fit puzzle. I have to do them on this velvet board that they sent me because you need the friction so that the pieces don't just go everywhere as you're working on it. So I can only do one puzzle Michele Wilson at a time, and my board has been buried under here for so long. But look at how beautiful that is. So they cut it, you know, like the pieces in the sky look like the sky. They look like clouds. And then if I pull these pieces apart a little bit, you can see that they cut on the image line quite a lot, which makes it extra difficult. So even though this is only a 500-piece puzzle, It's more difficult than a lot of the other ones that I've been showing you, but it's just so detailed. You know, these pieces are hand cut by an artisan in their store, and so I love these so much. They always feel so special to do. I lost track of how this one fits back in. Okay, I've been so excited to talk about this one too. So this is a 460-piece artifact puzzle. It's another wooden puzzle. I believe I got this one because I had some prize money from a competition. As I'm sitting here, I'm completely blanking on which competition that would have been. This one is laser cut. It's not hand cut. But just look at how intricate all of these pieces are. It makes it so fun to put together. Once again, I did this without looking at the box, which made it even trickier because I couldn't follow along of where all these different sections went. And there also isn't like a visible edge that you can pull out. It's like a random cut edge with lots of different details going on. So the way that I did it was pretty tricky, but I loved this one so much. And so that's what the pieces look like. They're really thick, nice wooden pieces, and it's so satisfying when they pop into place. Oh wait, I think I just remembered. I'm pretty sure this is from the mini speed puzzle competition at Puzzle Parley, which is an event all for wooden puzzles. That's the one where I got the prize money. Okay, this one I didn't actually do recently. I did it at the beginning of last year, but when I was cleaning up at the end of last year, I still had this one put together, and I was second guessing myself. I was like, did I tell people about this one? Just in case I didn't, this is one of my favorite puzzles that I did last year. This is called Prismatic from PuzzleLove. And just look at how cool that image is. Like, you can separate all of the different textures really easily. Then you have different blocks of these interesting textures to put together. And the box itself is beautifully designed. So just all around a great puzzle. Highly recommended, even if I did show it to you guys before. All right, we have made it to this stack of puzzles right here, and I think I need to grab this one. So one sec, let me rearrange. All right, this one is another Eeboo Christmas puzzle called Holiday Village. Look at how beautiful that is. All the pinks, like the pastel Christmas aesthetic. I love it so much. Again, let me move this out of the way. This one was trickier than I thought, if I'm remembering right. I think a lot of it, like a lot of the colors look very similar. There's a lot of this light blue, a lot of the light pink, but if you're okay doing a slightly more difficult puzzle, I just think the final image is so beautiful. Then we've got one called English Cottage Christmas, and I would say this one is definitely easier. This artist, Victoria Ball, they've definitely worked with her a lot before because a lot of these different textures I definitely recognized from other puzzles from Eeboo. So yeah, this is one of my favorite things about these types of puzzles. There's just so much detail and so much easy color separation, and so it's just really fun and quick. I liked this one a lot. So next we have a boardwalk wooden puzzle, and this was my prize from the California State Championships. So this one is called Community, and it's 475 pieces, which is one of the larger sizes that they offer. So this one is laser cut, not hand cut, but it's just really nice quality if you're into wooden puzzles like this. This is another brand that you can check out. Like, the pieces are really thick, just very solid quality, a really nice and like interesting piece cut. And again, I did this one without looking at the image, so it raised the difficulty quite a bit. And these larger wooden puzzles are actually kind of heavy. Like, this board has a weight to it as I'm moving it. Next, we've got another Soonness puzzle. This is Lead Shot Stars. And we're definitely down into the ones that I was working on while editing the Worlds videos, because I just wanted easy, simple, straightforward puzzles after how complicated the world's videos were. So again, I just love all these different textures that you can sort out and do just a little section at a time. It's not a difficult puzzle, but it's a really, really fun one. Then we've got Space Life. This was illustrated by Soonness herself. She has a whole series that are in this style, and I loved it. Again, you have solid colors that are easy to differentiate and easy to sort. There are so many little details. It's a little tricky because each element is smaller, so there's more going on than like the last puzzle, but yeah, after you finish it, there are just so many little details that you can look at. Then we have the 500-piece Poisonous Mushrooms puzzle from Eeboo. Again, I don't quite remember if I looked at the box for this one or not, but it's kind of a busy image, so kind of difficult for a 500, but I like this octagon shape that they've been introducing. The middle, I think, is the same as their round puzzles, and then here on the corner, these corner pieces get kind of giant and kind of wacky looking. Then we have another 500 called Miss Santa's Reindeer. It's a very cute illustration. This one I'm pretty sure I did without looking at the box just to make it a little harder. And this one I think I actually did during the holidays and not in January once the holidays were over. Okay, now we're getting into the Wentworth puzzles. They sent me a couple Christmas puzzles and I did all of them and then just didn't share them anywhere because I was so busy with all the world's content. So with this one, I actually pulled out all of the whimsy pieces. I might have done this one without putting any of the whimsies in place. I don't quite remember if I had just like pulled them out afterwards or not, because I was going to photograph it so you could see all the whimsies and then never got around to it. So I'm showing you guys now. But even though it's only 240 pieces, again, if you do it without looking at the box, it raises the difficulty so much that it's a great one to just fill up a few hours at night before you go to bed. Okay, so next I consolidated all of the smaller Wentworths here on this one board. So we have Brilliant Baubles, which is 230 pieces. Again, I did this one without looking at the picture, which made it really fun. And I love that you have all these cutouts and the unusual puzzle edge that interacts with the image. I think that's really fun. And if you look at it from the side, you can see a little bit more of the piece cut and that there are holiday themed whimsies in here. Then we've got Colorful Cookie Town, which is 250 pieces. This is a little more standard looking of a puzzle, but again, I think I did it without looking at the box, and it's so busy that was it turned it into the right level of difficulty. And again, there you can see some of the piece cuts. Then we've got this smaller one called Patchwork Pudding. It's only 140 pieces. So I think I did like a lot of these all on the same night. But again, I love that it's an unusual edge. Look at that up there. That's such an interesting piece cut. And then this one is so cute. It's called 12 Days of Christmas. It's only 40 pieces. And I just love the box that it comes in. It looks like a Christmas cracker, but it's all made of paper or like cardstock. So you can, it's hard to do with one hand, but you can untwist. There we go. I did it. You can untwist that. Look at how cool that box is. And so then you can reach inside and that's where all of the pieces were. Some of the larger puzzles can get kind of expensive. So I think smaller puzzles like this would be perfect for like stocking stuffers. If you want to make a note for this upcoming Christmas. Also, this box has that same sort of design. So it looks like you know, like a Christmas present. You almost don't even have to wrap this. Like the box is cool enough on its own. Okay, then I just have a blank board. What is this doing here? I could have used that to do another puzzle. Oh my gosh, my square board. I finally have my square board back. I don't have to keep overlapping the Eeboo puzzles. So this one is called London Market, and I did it so long ago now that I don't really remember all that much about it. But again, it's just a really nice image, a little bit busier than some of their other ones, but definitely recommended. I'm sure it was fun way back in the day when I did it. Okay, these hometown collection puzzles are the ones that I grew up doing. So when I'm at puzzle swaps these days and I see these around, I always grab them. I just love this like folk art, Americana art style for puzzles. Like all of these buildings I think are so fun to do as a puzzle to separate the different colors. So this one is a fire station. As I've said before, the cardboard is very thin. It's only 2 ins, 2 outs for the entire puzzle. So not the best quality in the world. I just love these images. These are my guilty pleasure puzzle. We don't always have to love the objectively highest quality thing. Oh my god, we're almost done. We only have 2 puzzles left. So I remember now, I was going to put up an Instagram post about all of these really colorful Soonness puzzles that I was working on, and I never got around to it. But this is electronic fantasy. Just like some of the ones that I showed before, this one is pretty busy. Like you have this girl that you can sort out, and there are a few other sections that you can sort out, and then there's a lot of busyness going on, but when you finish it, like, it's just such a beautiful image to put on a puzzle. So then this one is by the same artist, Rowan. It's called Bakery, and I think this one was a little easier because there are a few more sections that are easier to sort out. But then once you get into all of these brown pieces with all the different types of bread and pastries, those were a little difficult again. But again, just look at those colors. It's so, so beautiful. And then this one I also did while editing the World's videos. This one is called Takoyaki. Again, by Rowan, that same artist, except I lent it to Yvonne because she wanted to do it, and then she got this puzzle for Christmas, and so she gave it back to me without needing to do it. But I feel like these 3 make such a good series, like all the colors, the art style. You could frame these and have them up on your wall. So that is it. Oh my gosh, I can see my footstool for the first time in months. So I hope you liked those hopefully brief reviews. Yeah, those are the puzzles that I do for fun. Oh no, these 2 puzzles are so similar that I just put this one entirely in that box. My god, I'm done. Cleaning all of that up literally took hours. I'm so tired. All right, so next, this video is kind of my all-around catch-up video. So let me share my stats from 2024, now that we're almost halfway through 2025. Okay, here's the big one. In 2024, I forgot the number. In 2024, I solved 276 puzzles, and that made a total piece count of 183,342. Looking at the brands, since I was doing so much speed puzzling practice last year, the vast majority that I was doing was Ravensburger, but I also did 22 Eeboo puzzles just for fun. So then I kept track of why I did each puzzle, and 42% were just for fun, 27% were for speed puzzling practice, and 15% were for competitions. And only 9% last year were puzzles that I did specifically for videos. Now, looking at where they came from, it was almost exactly equal how many were gifted versus from competitions. And then I only actually solved 19 vintage puzzles last year, which actually makes sense because usually when I do vintage puzzles, I like to do a full video, which takes a lot of time to make. So then it was about 80-20 doing them alone versus with other people. And of the ones I did with other people, obviously I did the most with Tiffany since we did pairs together for nationals and worlds. So then you can see how many puzzles I solved every month, and March and August were the highest, since that's when I was really training for nationals and worlds. When you're heavily into training like that, you can knock out 3 or 4 500-piece puzzles in a single day. All right, let's take a little break from the stats because I have a few more puzzles to show you. So I wanted to show you all of the puzzles that I did while I was home at my parents' house over the holidays. Okay, this first one is the 1,500-piece Jane Wooster Scott, which I showed in a haul video last year. When I was in the middle of editing the Worlds videos, I literally had dreams that I was solving this puzzle. Like, knowing that it was waiting for me for when these videos were finished, that was all that was keeping me going. And luckily, the puzzle fully lived up to expectations. I mean, the quality of the cardboard and the piece cut isn't the best in the world, but I just love Jane Wooster Scott illustrations. And so getting to do one, or getting to do a full 1,500 pieces of one, it was just so delicious. And speaking of Jane Wooster Scott, there's actually a 6,000-piece puzzle of one of her illustrations. It never shows up on eBay. I would love to get my hands on it. Just putting that out there in case anyone has one. So next was a bits and pieces puzzle called Christmas Angels, which Katie and I did together just for fun. So this one is actually supposed to glow in the dark. If you feel the pieces, there's a different texture printed over part of it. Now, I never noticed it glowing, but I also didn't specifically try to charge it up or take a really close look, so who knows if that still works. So then, if you remember the haul video that I posted last summer, I had a whole box of these cork Jane Wooster Scott puzzles, and so I pulled out this one called A Time for Sugaring. It's not really Christmas themed, but it's kind of winter themed. This one I did without looking at the box, which again, just like I was saying before, increases the difficulty. And then when I pulled out all of the whimsies, unfortunately, they're not really winter themed, but I guess they just didn't have that many different die cuts like for each individual season. So then I did another one of the cork puzzles. This is a skiing themed puzzle. So again, kind of a winter themed one. This one was really, really hard. Like all the skiers, all the trees look exactly the same. And again, even though this one is even more explicitly winter themed, a lot of the whimsies were not winter themed. So then I did Songs of Extinct Birds from Ravensburger. This is one that I had bought over the summer for our team practice. And so we did it really fast as a team, but it's a really nice image. So I wanted to do it again, just by myself and just for fun. And then the last one is a puzzle called The Missing Will, which was a Christmas present. This one is a mystery puzzle where the image on the puzzle is not the exact image that's on the box, and it comes with a story for you to, figure out the mystery. So I'm not going to show the entire puzzle because that would be a spoiler, but we did manage to solve it, and it was okay. Not great, not horrible, just kind of average. Okay, we're almost done. I just have a few more stats to share. I want to share how I did on all of the monthly online contests that I was doing last year. These contests are all put on by speedpuzzling.com, and Jonathan gifts them to me, and so I do the 500-piece individual puzzle every month. And so here is where I placed for each one. So my top placement was 4th for the San Diego puzzle, but that one actually had the results split in half, since half the competitors got a random cut puzzle and half of them got a grid cut puzzle. So there were 2 sets of results for that one. But then when I was going up against everyone, I got 6th place for the Springbok gradient puzzle, which I was really proud of. I think it helps that I've done a lot of Springbok puzzles, so I'm very familiar with their piece cuts. And then after that, it ranges from 10th place down to 33rd. I mean, if you look at the results, there are a ton of really fast puzzlers who do these contests, so I consider anything in the top 20 to be really good, but I only got top 20 for half of the contests last year. So then we can also look at it ranked by my time, so you can see which ones I found the easiest versus hardest. And I also took time lapses of all of my solves. This is going to be so satisfying. Let's look at all of them together. All right, so I'm still doing these online contests every single month. I put up an exclusive video over on Patreon every month, which is a full vlog of my thoughts going into it, what I thought of the puzzle, what I thought of my placement, etc. And then I also put the time lapse on Instagram if you wanted to follow along over there. So if you want to compete against me, you can go to speedpuzzling.com and sign up for the individual 500-piece contest. All right, so I think that's all I've got for today. That was a lot to get through. Let me know down in the comments what was your favorite puzzle that I showed, and let me know what types of puzzles you do for fun. Do you have any favorite brands, types of images, etc.? Your code word for the comments will be colorful, and I'll see you all in the next one.